Welcome, Lords. Welcome. Let's get to work. Let's get into it. How's the weekend, everybody? What do we need to go over? Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
I need to go over some. No, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
Say my anxiety is off the roof. I've been gone for a week.
Yeah. And is this all pertaining to where she was, the festival and everything?
Well, we got in a big fight about. We didn't get really in a big fight. She said I tried to ruin her festival. Then I left for work, which I was going on last week in Kansas.
Right.
And she said how I treated her was, or how I dealt with a festival, helped validate her feeling that she wants to do stuff by herself, for herself. So after that, things got, I don't know, I guess more platonic. I mean, we were actually discussing and talking about stuff, but I went ahead and planned our family vacation here in 2 weeks. And I went ahead and ordered her airline tickets, $400, $418, which is the last seat on the plane. So I thought, fuck it, I'll buy it. She don't go.
Good.
So we got into a huge thing about it today because she's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go with you.
Well, she might not want to go yet. But hold on. We got to rewind, dude. Because everything was sounding good with the festival before you left for Kansas. What happened? What was different?
So instead of talking to me, she went to my kids and said, hey, you can sleep in my bed in the basement. And then I'm here being the parent. And then, like I said, she went to the kids and said, hey, you can go sleep in the basement, which I don't have any idea. She doesn't know who, like my mother-in-law brought some friends over. I'm like, no, they don't need to be in the basement. So she's parenting from afar instead of talking to me. And then she tells my daughter, said, hey, you can have extra time on your phone if you do things. Hang on, you're not here. So I got kind of pissed about it because, like, you're not here. You don't understand how she's acting. So it's not fair for you to be doing that. And then it went kind of downhill from there.
All right. Well, you got to know why, man. Like, you got to show up using the reset. We understand she's not going to agree. She might have other things, but you're upset and you're trying to tell her about that instead of just handling it like a lord. Just go parent. Just say, I know mama said that, but we're not doing that right now. We're doing X, Y, Z. And why can we get away with that? Well, simple, because mom's in the basement. You're not.
Well, the way she talks to me, I've been holding off a lot. Like, the way she talks to me, she's like really fucking shitty all the time. Like, my son, just for example, my son's backed up. So we've been giving him Miralax and apple cider vinegar.
Sure.
So I mixed him a big glass, just, regular adult glass of apple cider vinegar and Miralax. She goes, he only needs 8 ounces. I said, I understand. She goes, well, 8 ounces is a half a glass. You realize that, right? Like, I'm a dumbass. I'm like, I do, but this makes it taste better. And then went on and gave it to him. So a lot of little shitty, snarky comments like that. Today we got into it because I said something about the family trip. And she said I'm trying to manipulate her by calling it a family trip. And I don't think I was, but now I look back on it, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I was. Maybe I was manipulating her by calling it a family trip.
No.
I don't know. I guess I'm second guess and everything.
I think we're getting a lot of defensiveness. I think we're getting a lot of anxiety because you're trying to just show up and you're just a little bit lost. At the end of the day, you just start making your plans. You do it. Of course, if you're planning a family trip, that's not manipulation. You're married, right? If she doesn't go, she doesn't go. I loved your attitude there. Buy the plane ticket. If she doesn't use it, whatever, But at the end of the day, you're going to just show up making these decisions. She's not used to that right now. She's not.
And that's what I told her today. I was like,
No. Stop telling her. Stop defending yourself. Stop saying, well, I'm the one parenting, so I need to be able to do this. Or you that attitude, like, I'm not a dumbass. It might taste better, and there's nothing wrong with it. She doesn't have to agree with you. Your son has the glass. It's good. Whatever, right? But having to feel the need to defend yourself is feeding your anxiety, right? Because you're like always looking to the next step of what can I do now? What would make this go better, more smoothly? I don't want to piss her off. I don't want to upset her mood. Instead of just being you, right? Making decisions, just showing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I went through 3 or 4 days of just being me, just showing up, just, hey, the world is great. Look outside. Hey, I love where I'm at. Go to bed. discovered this little thing where last 5 minutes of before you go to sleep is all you should be doing, nothing but positive comments or what you want to work on the next day. So your subconscious brain works on it, and it's working really good. Wake up in a lot better mood.
Good.
So I've been doing all that, but I don't know what my setback was today besides her asking about the trip.
Well, I think you're just so deep into your nice guy, man. You just want that approval so bad. Like when you say something like, I show up for a few days, we got to lose attitudes like that. We just got to know we're showing up and that's it. And it's not like you have a bad attitude about it. I think you're just struggling and it's hard. So that's okay. You just continue to develop like routines like this. If it's helping you with the affirmation statements, cool, right? But don't expect it to change everything and don't expect it to change her perspective. You've got to show up for a while. Right. Think about all the years you didn't show up the same way. Right. And so
3 or 4 years of just her leading and me being depressed. And she's like, you always called you my second child, my third child.
Well, and you're not alone. That's what women feel about their husbands. That's pretty darn common. Right. So then I'm
just disappointed that I quit showing up. And that's why I'm holding myself to that standard because, hey, I was showing up. I am good. And and part of it. She didn't get into like 1 o'clock last night. Her and my daughter went to a concert. Mm-hmm. So she's tired and bitchy.
Well, let's reframe that right there too. She's tired and bitchy. She's just tired. Okay.
She's tired.
She's tired. Okay?
Agreed.
She had a great night last night with my daughter and that's good. Sounds like she needs some connection time anyway. Right. So find the things that are real. When you feel bad about yourself, it's easy to explain she's bitchy. Right. It's easy to want to defend yourself so that you can prove to not only her, but you're proving to yourself that I'm a good man. But I want you to pick something out here, really, really important. I'm really mad at myself because I was showing up and then I didn't. I would never qualify you as someone who shows up if it's been a few days, even a few weeks. I dare say a few months of consistency of the same thing. I'm not saying you won't make a mistake. I'm not saying you won't have a setback. I'm going to say, for example, use safe react instead of stat respond the way I teach. Okay. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but think about yourself. Why I say it's 90 days is the moment you know what you're doing and you're showing up and you've got your, structure in place for your day, your morning routine, all the way through to the end of the night, how you're interacting, how you're making decisions, why, and when you're moving forward, doing all this stuff. Yes, it can't always be perfect. You're going to do your damnedest, but knowing that you're showing up every day, following that routine, being consistent, that's when you start to go, okay, now I'm doing it. And that's when we really drill in the 90 days. And that's why a lot of guys.
So I get up 4:45 every morning. Yeah. And I've got that set because that gets my full workout in, ready, changed, and then at office or at the house and take the kids to school. Get home. We, got our schoolwork, like today we got guitar practice or we got volleyball or something like that. So we got a good routine down like that. It's the problem that I'm having. One is the Mr. Nice Guy. And I realized that. And I realized that, hey, I want to be loved. I want my, and I'm trying to watch really careful. Damn, it's like today you slide by. I realized what I did. I pissed at myself because I realized what I did. That kind of thing.
Well, it does no good to be sitting in your pain, pissed at yourself. Just reorganize what you need to do so that you are more consistent. First and foremost, you're a nice guy. Your affirmation statements are great for you, this and that. Sure. All that's fine. It's just that deep down, you have to think about why. I'm good enough because, I learned to respond, not to react to be defensive. That makes me proud. That's a good quality. In fact, most of the world can't say that about themselves. Right? The world, not just men. So when you start focusing on the real skills that you're learning and implementing them, Jeff, that's when you can start to say, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm checking that off the box. Better than an affirmation statement for you would be a checklist, right? You know what I mean? Like, so you think about like the scorecard. You can use the scorecard, but then you could add in things, right? And it could just be like, I need to watch this defensiveness. Okay, what did I do? What was the turnaround time for the anxiety that's causing me to feel insecure about myself, being upset with myself to maybe I was manipulating my wife. Don't let her lead you. Don't let her do that. If you run through a checklist every day and you're proud of, I'm going on a family trip and I'm going to take her if she wants to come. Like this is good. This is leading. This is good. You haven't probably planned a trip ever. right? So this is good, but she's not used to it. She's wanting space. She's coasting in the marriage. She's in the basement, right? You are the one rising up. So don't let her tell you differently, okay? It's easy to think because you understand the nice guy that maybe I'm manipulating, because we do. We can go back to our old habits. That's not a manipulation tactic. That's planning a family trip. She just doesn't want to go because she's interested in coasting right now. So
I think it was my Mr. Nice Guy picking up because she was like, well, I don't want to go. And I guess I didn't realize that subconsciously, hell, I'm wanting her to go. And I guess I got butthurt over it. Because I do want her to go.
Of course you do. She's your wife and you want to go on a family trip. So there's nothing wrong with that, right? Remember, when your wife wants space, we want to get interface, but not invader space, right? What I mean by that means you're going to plan the trip and she might not go, and that's totally cool. You're going to deal with the rejection just fine. Okay? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. Yeah. Now, she's going to throw, if anything, she's going to throw this stuff at you, and you're going to feel bad because you're trying to hear what she's saying now. When you're not being defensive, we're listening, that's good. But don't go down the negative spiral of second guessing everything that you do when it aligns with your core values. Family is one of them. So you did nothing wrong. Okay?
Yeah, but she got pissed about me planning the trip, and I was like, she's like, are you going to tell me about it? I was like, well, you were gone while I was planning it. You were at that festival.
This is defensiveness.
So I told her, said, hey, just up front, I'm planning our Christmas trip right as soon as I'm done with this one.
No,
just so you know.
So what you're doing is you're letting your wife lead you. So you were defensive instead of answering the question. Tell her about the trip. And now you're trying to be proactive and say, I'm planning a Christmas trip. Well, that's cool, but just tell her about the trip when you started planning it, or even I'm thinking about, whatever, Mexico for Christmas. Start there. Have some conversations first, but don't let her lead you. Don't do it because she got mad at you. She was actually just asking a question. You going to tell me about this trip? She might have said it abrasively, which is where you see, it's not just about getting approval. It's when you are worried about disapproval as well. Right?
Yeah. She thought I was trying to hide it from her. She was looking at it the most negative aspect, like, hey, are you going to tell me about it? You're going to communicate with me?
You're going down it's almost like a keeping score path there. Not at all.
Right.
She might.
I've caught myself doing it a bunch.
Yeah, she might just want the freedom to choose because she's interested in space right now, right? So she could be frustrated, just like you're struggling with defensiveness. Maybe she's struggling with being a little aggressive right now, right? Okay. She's definitely blaming, right? She's definitely feeling contempt. So love her through it, man. Stat, respond, and love your wife through it. Okay. First thing we do is we check ourselves on safe reactions. So if we're coming across like, I couldn't explain it to you, that's not even answering the question. That's just saying what you need to protect yourself and keep yourself safe. So check yourself and then go in there with, where do I want to go? Remember, Jeff, that anxiety is keeping you. I don't have one for you. Mama, maybe check with Mama, please. I don't know where they are. Okay, baby. If you're letting your anxiety,
cortisol built up it breaks.
Correct. So if you're letting your anxiety rule you, right, your insecurity will grip you, and then we go wherever we go, right? What we need to do is learn to control that anxiety. I'm sorry, baby cupcake. I don't have one, and I'm on a call. Do you see all the cameras? I'm really sorry, but Mama's just over there. You can go ask her. There's Mama. She's ready to help you. All right. So if you let the anxiety grip you, okay, insecurity grips you harder, and then you could go down whatever. Well, it could be super angry by the time you start to get super defensive, or you're just not making decisions based off your own core values or anything like that because you're afraid, right?
Yeah.
And so you're gonna have to check that, do that anxiety training every single day, right?
I'm doing that. I've basically beat the overthinking. I still catch myself to it, but I'm able to stop myself and then working through that. Now I'm stepping into I feel comfortable enough about that I'm working on the just anxiety part right now.
It's going to take a little time, start amping up your workouts too. Things like that are going to help. You're already eating well, I think. So as long as you're focused on the direction you're going to get through this. That training just needs to be repeated and repeated and repeated. You can also reach out to Nicholas, see where he's at with his new trainings and stuff like that. Or maybe Andy knows. Andy, do you know?
Yeah, Nicholas is coming along. He just had some setbacks at work, but
Yeah.
that book you recommended that I read, Cash, The Art of Embodiment.
Yeah. Awesome.
Dude, Jeff, you got to read this book, man.
Art of Embodiment by G.S. Youngblood. If you're struggling with anxiety and that training that I have you do, you should still do it. But man, G.S. Youngblood nailed something in there. It's like way deeper than what I did. In fact, when I read his first book, that's when I was like, oh, that's what I was reminded. Oh my gosh, that's how I got over the insecurity, the anxiety with everything with Catherine. And then like he takes it to a whole new level. He's done some massive work there and he explains it really well. I think he communicates so well as an author. So check out that book if you're struggling.
Yeah, I like G.S. Young. I'm working on, trying to think of what the book is I'm working on right now.
Masculine in relationships, probably.
The Art of Embodiment is actually what I'm working on.
Oh, you're already on it. Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on like chapter 3.
Okay, good.
Because that's what I do when I'm working out. I listen to audiobooks instead of music and stuff like that. And where I'm driving down the road, I get my audiobooks or podcasts out.
Okay, don't do what everybody else does when they read books. Don't read it once, twice, 3 times. Listen, make that a plan for the next 90 days that you just continue to listen to that book over and over again. And then practice the lessons and the structure that he gives on it. And then, sure, once a day do mine or go deep into his and you probably don't even have to. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. But make it a part of what you do now for your routine every day. Okay.
Yeah. Well, not being able to log in and listen has been detrimental, I think, as well. Because I get a lot out of just listening to the other guys if I don't get in here and just talk like I am today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should. That's so valuable. That's why it's so important to understand that everybody struggles with different stories, but same symptoms, same treatments, and different levels at different points in their journey, right? All of us.
That's why a lot of times when I can't talk, I'll message you and say I can't but I'll listen.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. That's what you got to get moving on, okay? But also think about doing that little checklist every day. Did I get defensive? Okay. You can add it to the scorecard or whatever you want. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right. What else you guys got? Go, Kelly. You were about to say something before.
I'm going to chime in.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I'm not sure who's all been following along, but I approached my wife with a small business idea that I wanted to try out, I guess, something that's I've always wanted to do since I can remember, and that was start a clothing brand.
Okay.
I thought I was just, doing my usual thing. I reached out to some graphic designers, bought some designs, made agreements to buy more so that then I can have stuff to release come 2024. I was super excited about it. This isn't something that's new to my wife. I've bounced this idea off her probably 1,000 times throughout the 18 years of marriage. Mm-hmm. So yesterday I was like, hey, this is what I did. And she was fucking beyond mad about it. I went home, we had a discussion about it. The long and the short of it is that I am definitely, I make some pretty bad financial decisions on the fly. I don't necessarily keep like a big balance in my bank account. Mm-hmm. I kind of just, if I need a fucking $1,000, I find a job and I make $1,000. If I need $2,000, I find a job and make $2,000. Mm-hmm. So essentially that's kind of where the issue lied was, she looks at it as, I'm going to take $1,000, maybe go buy some shirts, and then, maybe something happens and I have to take more money. And she's concerned about that aspect of things. And I understood all of that. Basically what it came down to was, she doesn't think that, we bring in enough money to pay all of our bills in order for me to do this project, I guess. Now, if I remember correctly, in one of the videos I watched, or maybe it was a discussion we had on here, was something about having separate bank accounts and how that's like a big fucking no-no. Katie and I, 10 years ago, we had joint bank accounts. Everything was in one big bank account, and we actually fought like crazy about it. Like, pretty much almost got divorced over the fact that I always felt like I'm always working for nothing. You know, I felt like I go to work every day, I'm putting in all this overtime, et cetera, bringing in thousands of dollars, and I never get to enjoy any of that money. So the counselor was like, oh yeah, you know what, you're absolutely right. You guys should have separate bank accounts.
Okay, hold on. Let's just chill for a second. So first and foremost, man, like a clothing, you always want to do this clothing brand thing, and clothing brands can be great, but usually you need to be a brand before your clothing can do anything. So there's a better way to approach all that. Two, how are you going to market it? Like she's probably needing to see a lot of what the preliminary steps to get things started, not just buying shirts that are going to sit in the garage potentially, right? Three, then there's ways to beta test what the designs should be like, and there's so many other different levels here. But here's the real problem. The real problem is you've talked about it for so long, you've been inconsistent with so many things that she just probably doesn't actually think that you are going to do anything with it. So it is potentially a waste of money. That's all she's probably really saying deep down, and she's frustrated. Lastly, she's been feeling more like a partner lately with you. And so that could have made her feel like you're not a partner. And if you're basing it all on, what your therapist said, whatever, with bank accounts a while ago, there's no right or wrong there. I believe in joint, but like whatever. So you guys have to do you there. But like at the end of the day, the transparency and the partnership is undermined when you go make a purchase like that, and especially if you have the attitude like, if I just need money, I go make it. That can work, but like there's nothing there, and your wife is already a mad provider, right? So it just starts to make like an immature impression, if that makes sense.
And what you're saying does make sense, and I don't want to rebuttal what you're saying by any means. I guess where my problem lies is, if I go back a year ago, I made $55,000 a year consistently for 15 years. This year, my new position, I've almost tripled my income. I'm going to make probably $120,000, $140,000 this year.
Mm-hmm.
I have doubled my output. So originally when we did this, 10 years ago, or not even 10 years ago, forgive me, I'm going to go back 2 years when we talked about how much money I needed to put from my bank account into our joint account in order to pay all of our bills. It was like $1,400 a month. Then I went up to $2,200 a month because I was making better money on my own. Like I just said, hey, listen, I'm going to start putting more money.
See,
and then every month I make more.
But what you're doing, Matt, what you're doing, buddy, is you're just running through this whole big history lesson to replay why it's okay to not be a partner with your wife, to not be transparent with your wife, to not understand some of the inconsistencies, the lack of follow through. All that stuff is what really needs to matter. Like what you're saying with all these other details are just a rabbit hole of shit. And that's why people fight over money. Matt's probably going to agree with that. He's tried to put his hand up a minute ago. Like Pete's agreeing, Andy's agreeing.
Can I chime in too?
Yeah, you bet. Like just one sec. So like the bottom line is the reason people fight, money's like the top three. One of the top three for couples and why relationships struggle, right? It's because you're not addressing the actual issues. You're just addressing the reasons underlying defense why I should be able to do whatever I want with my money. Well, you got to think partnership. So I said earlier, like there's not really a right or wrong. I believe if you want to make it super easy, you guys are on the same page with a joint account. You got to get through some hard conversations, especially if there's been shit over money for the last however many years. You know what I mean? And so we need the underlying issues. You need to go back to your wife and be like, babe, we need to talk about this and have a hard conversation. You know what I mean? But not defending why you should be able to buy shirts or whatever you want. Getting through the hard actual issues. What is she actually mad about? Right?
Right. And I never once defended. Like I never once said, hey, listen, like, why can't I do this? Or can you allow me to do this? That's never what I did. I said, look, if this is something that we can't do now, I have no problems putting it, on the back burner until later. The end of the conversation basically became that, if I could bring in an extra $2,000 a month consistently, that would cover our bills and all this other stuff. And she wouldn't have any concerns with what I do with other dollars, so to speak. But I don't want that. Like I want her to just be like, Well, I guess what I said to her today was, okay, if I'm going to go out and I'm going to make $2,000 a month extra, does that negate me from like having to be at home, having to take the kids to soccer practice or to basketball or whatever the case might be? Does that negate me from having to do housework because I'm not going to be home? I mean,
I think
in
you're.
my mind, I feel like, okay,
So-
I'm willing to sacrifice time at home and all these other things so that we can pay our bills, get caught up, that type of thing, and then look at other options as far as, what we're going to do with our money, because I know we do have a discussion coming about, how to allot money and save money and make goals. And, because Katie and I haven't done that for a while. I guess that's just where my frustration lies, is just,
well, you're attacking the end issue based off past reasons, right? So the outcome that you're trying to do, because now you're even going to like, well, if I'm gone and I have to make the money, then we all made choices in our life with what we do, with our time, what time we have available, how much money we make, right? So, I mean,
Hey, I'm about to get, Tony, something weird's about to happen, so I'm going to leave you guys on. Some police officers are pulling up behind me. Keep going, but I don't know what's going on here.
Okay.
We want to watch.
If you get me seeing me get dragged out of the car here in a second,
we're recording it, man. We're recording it. Don't tell them. Yeah, I think you're trying to solve, like, where will you be down the road by looking at what's happened in the past when you have overdue conversations. You just said we don't have the actual underlying issues out there. And then we're all responsible for our choices, right? So if we don't make enough money and we might have to work extra hours or another job to make the kind of money, that's not really your wife's responsibility. That's the choices that you made in life, right? And so when you can think about it that way, maybe clothing brand would be cool, but it's not the right time. And then, like I said, there's way better ways to start to make sure that you're testing. Maybe that could be your $2,000 extra a month just for start. But we got to do some tests and things like that. So there's other skills that we should acquire first, right? And then that could be all working towards your goal. It's just we're not actually going to be there maybe as fast as you want with $2,000. But maybe you make $5,000 a month because you learn these skills first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you mean. It's just, again, like, my biggest struggle, I think, is, and it's my struggle, is working for nothing. I understand that, I'm not working for nothing. I have a mortgage. I have a brand new car in the driveway that needs car payments.
What do you mean working for nothing?
I mean, working for nothing, like nothing tangible, nothing to, I don't know, fill my dopamine up at the end of the week or the end of the 2 weeks when I get paid, like.
Well, that's just,
hey, you've doubled your income. So where's your budget?
That's what
I'm going to say it kind of rudely. Where's your budget?
Yeah, it's a really good point.
Where's your monthly budget?
It's a really good point, because if you doubled your income and you're like, I want to be able to buy shit, but we all want to buy shit. But first and foremost, we take care of our family, our goals together, our priorities, right? Secondly, we're responsible for that regardless, right? Thirdly, that's what I believe. If you want more, you make more. You get to work, but you need to just sort of jumble it up in the right way, get the right order going, right? Like the entrepreneur thing, like you talked about getting the extra $2,000 a month by having more hours at work or a second job instead of doing your entrepreneurial spirit. Okay, you're going to work 18 times more as an entrepreneur just to get any kind of income out of that clothing brand or any other business you start. It's way easy to make $2,000 a month once you have the skills, right? $5,000 a month once you have the skills. Okay, but I mean, you got to have these conversations with your wife and get the real truths out. And maybe it's just goals, and then maybe that's part of what you bring up. I'd like to be able to save up for whatever. Making sense?
Right, and it does make sense. And I don't know, I don't want to take up too much of anybody else's time, but what I really another thing that frustrates me is I don't ever look at things as like a 50-50 type of thing. I really don't. I try to just think, okay, how much do you need from me? And I never ask her how much she needs from her. Or sorry, we need from her. You know, what I said to her today was, okay, you know, if I go out and I do all this extra work, I think I actually already said this, maybe I did. If I'm going out and I'm doing all this extra work, what is her contribution? Like, am I supposed to just be like, okay, I worked 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts. I got an hour and a half drive home. So there's 15 hours out of my day.
This is
I need
all
5 hours for sleep.
This is all choices. This is all choices, man. You're responsible for your choices. You need to figure out what she wants, what is it that you want, and then you make choices, right? That's it. And right now, the choices that you've made in the past are affecting your present. It's not like, maybe you do get to see the kids less, and then you up your quality time. Maybe you go, well, 1 to 2 years of learning skills would be, well, shit, nowadays, man, you can learn almost everything you need to in 3 months if you just work. And maybe you do sleep less. But like, this is all what you have to put together. First, you need to know what you both want. You need to have that conversation. Can't be defensive. Bring her down if she gets a little bit amped up, right? And work through these hard conversations so that you can figure out what it is you're actually talking about here, right? Is it just about a monthly budget, or is it because you spent money, or is it both? Is it because she is actually like, well, I wish you made different choices. I made great choices with my career. Now I want, like, I don't know. You got to get to the bottom of it, though. Then we can make a proper solid plan, right? But in the meantime, without her on board, you need to get on YouTube and learn. You know, start with marketing.
Go to Dave
Right?
Ramsey. DaveRamsey.com. He's got a free app. You can share it with your wife. You can put all your bills in there. Everything.
David Ramsey stuff is awesome. Yeah.
And then as you spend your money, you have to discipline yourself to put in. I spent $100 on gas. I spent $100 on grocery. And then you know what you spent. Do that for a couple months. Put a budget in there to save up the $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever dollars. And prove to her that you can save money and it's there. And if it goes to shit, well, we saved it, but we still got extra, see?
Well, it's not even about proving. It's just about showing up and being a partner on that. Go ahead, Pete.
And to the point Jeff's making here, from you saying when you need something, you just get a job and make $1,000 and spend it. That sounds like a guy who's got no plan, who's not in control. This is an exercise for you to learn some control.
Well, and some organization, some planning, like.
And so far, you haven't shown her any of that. So when you go to her and say you're starting this thing, she's got that insecurity bug that just the alarm goes off, and that's what you walked into.
And then you're overarching, like, yeah, man, I just want to be able to get the dopamine rush and buy something on payday, right? Well, that's why she's thinking that $1,000 for clothing is a bad idea. How are you even going to sell it, right? Like, there's so many other questions, and then you're just showing more of that. I said immature earlier when I said it, that immature kind of mindset when it comes to finances, right?
And then from what you explained yesterday in the message you typed out, you said she could handle the books and the kids could help out at shows. Didn't you go talk about that yesterday?
Well, I did. I mentioned that to her, like when we were talking about my project. I said, you know, I kind of imagined that would how it would develop.
And all she's hearing is she's going to have something else she's going to have to do.
And it's all for you. So the shirts are for you. The car show stuff was for you. That was a big part of what we started with your journey, was how she felt about not being a priority, right?
So all of these budget tips, all of these practices you can put into place, you can layer this thing in and make it unstoppable when you're ready to launch it. And she may just want to jump on board, but you got to get yourself there first.
I put a picture of the app. It's a free app. You can get it on Android or Apple. It's 100% free. You can pay if you want, and it'll help go through your account. I just discipline enough that I don't. So look for that app in the App Store. You can download it. Your wife can download it. You can link it together.
I have Ramsey.
I think you have to use the same email account.
I have Ramsey linked in the reset too, guys. Seriously, when you're going through the reset, pay attention to the links that are there. They're there for a freaking reason. Okay, it's things
I'll jump in real quick.
Men struggle with.
Too,
Go ahead.
I was the same guy that you are like 2 years ago. I was doing the same thing. Like, dude, I'm making all this fucking money and I don't get to spend any of it. It goes to the mortgage, the bills, and everything's said and done. I can't go play. I can't go do my shit. I was in the same mentality, and what helped me snap out of it was developing that plan. Like, I mean, I'm in school right now. Like, I quit my fucking job. It was one of the biggest, toughest decisions I've ever made, and my wife had a lot to do with it, a lot of help with me doing it, but it broke that cycle, and it make a plan, dude. If you want to start a clothing company, for example, my plan was quit my job, go to school for a year, become a mechanic, make triple my money, if not more, live off of what I was living off of, maybe splurge a little bit here and there, take the family on vacations that I should have been doing already, whatever. But put that money aside and then start doing real estate. That's what my dream is to start buying up houses,
So basically what he's saying is exactly what he's giving, a real life example of what Pete said, which is really stacking and layering all the different skills, all the different components to this. And you have enough guys in here that know how to fucking make money. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of us. So like, just start with the plan, like get your budget in place is the very first step, right? And then start thinking about what other skills that you need. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be marketing. Right? Pick up $100 million offer from Alex Hormozi. Okay. It's $1. Buy the book for $1. Okay. And then start learning what you're going to be selling and how, because all these things will stack in and then you'll be able to do it potentially with her. Maybe not. I don't know, but you need to learn these skills anyway. Okay. And then come back to us once you've gone through those, once you started that stuff, that we can give you the next steps.
What I did was gave myself a projection. Okay, in 10 years, where do I want to be? Right? What do I?
Yeah, that's a good way. It's a good. I want to move on from this, guys. I want to get into marriage shit here, but like, think about it like this. Sure, 10-year goal, work backwards, but you don't have to. You could just think about that decade. Cool. Now there's enough of us in here that can take you forward fast. All you got to do is say, okay, I'm done this part. This is what I got. We can move to the next one. Okay. This is we talked about it last week. This is like a mastermind here every day for free. Okay. All right. What do we have here next? Where is it? Guillaume, I haven't seen you in a while. Where are you? What's going on, dude? Unmute. There we go. You're still muted.
Yeah, I'm on the road and I'm just about to load gas and then go to the bathroom. I have to start to 8 hours today. But I had my doing okay. I mean, I had my what was it last time? Kind of boundaries. You know, I was enough with the bullshit and all, and then she really started freaking out, I guess. And then she called in the counselor. They basically were like, give a little bit of time in the move and so on, try to appease the thing. And ever since, I've been back in the room, spent a couple of nights there. She's really slowed down. All of the texting with the woman where it was just like the crazy shit.
The negative influence and stuff? That one?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, she's still texting, but it looks like, either she's hiding it but I do, I don't see her as much. I kind of look like she's texting, and
so overall, sounds like
as bad anymore. I think she's making a lot of efforts, much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overall, you're moving forward. You guys are connecting more. You guys are talking more. She's doing more, making better choices for the marriage, for the family. Correct?
That's what it looks, at least on the surface. And this time, I believe a little more. So I think this is getting positive there. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So what is like dating and fun like with you guys now?
We've been doing a lot of things on weekends with family. We right now, so I'm going for the week. The week before was we've been doing a bunch of dates. Yeah, we've been to discovering. It was a birthday. We did a very nice dining experience. She's going to try that sort of things. And I've been. I took her to a comedy show. So yeah, I'm trying to have things lined up every week.
I'm more interested. Hey, dude. I'm not interested in your date ideas. I'm more interested in knowing what is going on with you guys. Is it ping, ping, ping conversation? We're laughing. We're getting along. We got through some deeper conversations, harder stuff. We're connecting emotionally again. How's intimacy on different levels? Give me the facts, not the details.
Yeah, I mean, there is more about it. Sometimes I feel like I need to. I don't know. She might still be back down. Like if I try to I'm trying to be careful with the players and so on. So I try to give her more space, but then like interact and be more into it and be more fun this way. So maybe it's because we both home. I work from home and she's not working right now. So we kind of trying to not be on top of her all the time. But we talk a little more harder than we used to. Get some lunch together. So yeah, I think we're getting there. And I'll have to see if I can maintain and like how she makes more efforts to talk to like engage and or even do it. I think so.
So everything is just moving forward now. Like it's not rapid, but it's moving forward. Correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's good. Now, what about physical intimacy? Are we still struggling there?
Yeah, I mean we had it's been the same problems, but I've been very sex with definitely touching a little more and so on. But I still have the same problems. But it's
Okay, so I'm gonna have.
She's tried. She has initiated a few times too, so I can see that I don't know. She looks like she's trying. Besides, I'm trying to do that. It's not job sex.
Well, is it not job sex? Is it real sex?
I mean, how can I know for sure?
Well, you can tell. If you know if your wife's just laying there, pay attention. If you don't know, I want you to start paying attention to how she breathes. Pay attention to how she moves. How fast does her body turn to you or away from you, right? Listen to the words and the tone if you're communicating in there when you should be, right? Like just start to really pay attention. Where when you put your hand on her arm or her thigh, how does she respond? Right? Ask her.
Yeah.
You like that? Get back into it. You're just really nervous right now. So go back to what you do if you were getting to know her, or what you should have done when you were getting to know her. Don't assume it's the same as it used to be. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand. Yeah, I'm trying to pay more attention to this, and I'm doing the self sexual sex mastery thing.
From Destin?
Yes, I'm starting this. Hasn't necessarily helped me with the initial anxiety, but after I think it helps a bunch. So I'm still working on this to regain my confidence, I guess.
I think that's going to be great too, and I'm going to have Destin in to speak to you guys here right away. And I mean, from all the research that I did, he is the best in the world at this stuff. Translating a lot of the Eastern to like more normalized. Right?
The sexual kung fu.
Sexual kung fu, sexual mastery, whatever. Takes the Eastern and he normalizes a lot more. And then he agreed, like the way that I speak, he thinks that I can even normalize it more or translate a little bit more for you guys. So I'm working on getting him in to see you guys. I think within the next month, we'll have him in to give you guys a presentation. And then I'm not sure what we're going to do. I think he's going to give you something special for his trainings or course or whatever he's got. Okay. So
Yeah,
Hang
and
tight.
I ended up reaching out and say, like, okay, this is the situation. I like to do the thing, and I know there's a new version coming. You talk with Cass, and then he said, oh, if you want, like, you can enroll now, and we just like put you in the whenever the course is rolled out, you still be part of that.
Oh, good. Good.
The bonus. So I was like, yeah, that's great. That's where I don't have to wait another month or something, and I get to see like the content sooner.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he already done like 7 versions of the course, so it's not like he has already made improvements and all. So it's already pretty good. So I think that's gonna. I'm hoping that's gonna help.
Don't even worry about hope. Don't even worry about hope. It totally will.
I'm working
It's
on making good.
it's the reason he calls it sexual self-mastery. It's like you can, just think about some of the techniques that you're using to get there. Like you're gonna find that, like, if you're relieving some of these symptoms, like insecurity, for example, in the bedroom, right, feeling confident as a man, it's going to. Oh, thank you. It's going to go well. Okay. Just know that. Have faith. Okay. Yeah, baby. Sounds good. Riddick, buddy, you're gonna stay with me. Okay. Yeah, Mama's taking the girls. Okay. Don't you just excuse me, guys, 1 second.
Love you, buddy.
Come here, buddy.
Love you.
Come here, buddy.
Talking up there.
Hey. Okay. I'm gonna be right over here when you're ready, okay? I love you. He always feels so upset when Mama doesn't take him, but the girls get to go. Oh, sorry, 1 second. All right, my bad, guys. Here when you need, Riddick. All right, so Guillaume, that's a good start. I want you to focus on that understanding that you will get over all this, okay? The insecurity in the bedroom happens to almost all the guys at some point, especially when their wife hasn't wanted them, when you've been going through all this stuff, you know, and it's tough. So I see a lot of heads nodding. It's pretty common, okay? Also for me. And in fact, I used to be so insecure about it that I would actually like leave Catherine in the middle of the bedroom, like be like, I'm not doing this, and blame her for something about why it wasn't good. So like, trust me, man, been there. Okay.
So I think really, yeah, thanks. I was just going to say, like, I think where I'm at too is because she was like a month ago, you know, before this kind of exploded this way, she was like lying so bad and all covered, but I really maybe even more aligned on the reset, which is like expectation or not. I don't know what she's going to do, what she's really up to, but I'm just trying to live as I can right now, right? And like, and make it good, but like really, I don't know what's going to be like, but
well, dude, that's the best.
It good, yeah.
That's the best. You keep moving the marriage forward. You provide that structure. You assume the boundary is working at all costs. Don't look for the boundary to not work. Found your chocolate milk, buddy? Yeah. Just make sure that you are moving the marriage forward. Sounds like you're doing great. You took proactive steps.
The only thing where I struggle is we trying to sell a house, and now she's talking about like buying a house even more expensive here and so on, and like, and I have a little bit of concern now, but like, yeah, I still feel like a lot of distress on my side. Like
that's nothing to stress about. You either have the money or you don't. Literally, right? You're either stretching yourself or you're not. And also,
I still feel being betrayed, and that she wants us to go into buying like a big expensive house. And like 2 weeks ago, she was like, lying to her teeth to me. Well, not even wanting to be with me, and maybe it's still the case, right? So I struggle.
Guillaume, you were making so much progress, and now the real feelings come out. All right, so you can't. You move forward. Now, you might not be ready. By the way, almost everyone would agree here. I'm sure it's not the time to buy any real estate right now, unless it's like a smoking deal. But like, even then, everybody's holding their money right now, man, because inflation, right? Interest rates are climbing pretty much across the board. So that you have that alone to just go with. Facts. It is what it is, right? Plus, you're in a lease, right? So you're selling your house, you put that money in the bank, and you Well, actually, you could even invest it, right? But you don't need to be rushing into that, and you don't need to be relating that back to why. That's a bad way to look at it. Well, I don't want to buy a house. She betrayed me. Well, you said you were just moving things forward, right?
Yeah.
And she's making changes. This is the most improvement I remember ever with your wife, right?
Yeah.
Actually, that there was one other time, and it was recently as well, when we found out that she was really being involved with the kids too again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Putting the phone away a little bit and stuff like that, right? So
Yes.
so now we're seeing another level to that. This is all good. Forward momentum. Focus on that. What you're doing has been working. A checked out wife having affairs to completely moving the next direction with you, even to the point where she wants to buy a house. This is really good. Dude, this is really good. Your boundaries worked.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't keep score negatively like that. Focus on your lovers list. Date your wife, amp it up, get it more exciting, more home dates, start flirting with her more, lay off your insecurity, keep doing work with Destin on that, and then with the sexual side. And then remember, you got to make those moves too, whether it's hold handing, twirling, or in the bedroom, whatever. Okay. Start picking up all of those that you are so afraid to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll just back you up there, Cass, on that. By the way, I didn't get arrested.
Nice.
They thought I stole the car because it's registered in my wife's name.
But
But anyway, hey, Gil. Sorry to call you Gil. I got a buddy called Gilliam, and I call him Gil.
That's
so
fine.
it's just, I have to agree with Cass really, really heavily that she wants to buy a house with you. Now, depending on average person's financial situation, that's 30-year commitment on the mortgage, 25-year, 20-year commitment. She wants to buy a house with you. So something that really worked for me, like even, I've had a really good run, and then, last week was a bit of a dip and those kind of things. Something that I did turn to keep my frustrations or resentments or whatever under control is even if things were being, like, lack of a better word, bitchy or nucky, or she was out of control, or I was out of control, or whatever it may be, is when those conversations came up about the future, she was initiating those conversations about the future. So if she was having conversations about the future, our future together, and we were in those plans, they're massive wins, because overall, we've all gone through these, like, parts in these relationships where these little things have, like, become bigger setbacks for us. Whereas now, if she's still making big plans for the future, or wanting to make big plans for the future, i.e. buy a house with you, like, she wants to go in the right direction with you, because I'm sure 12 months ago, from what I know of your story, she would mostly want to sell the house and get away from you. Now she's talking about buying a house and recommitting with you. Just try and notice those wins as well.
Yeah.
I know it's hard, but
it's important.
it just worked for me.
It's important. Pete, you've got something to add.
No, mine's more of a, I think, a rare instance where that's an exception. That's the only thing on my end where it's kind of, we did the whole buy a house thing while she was involved with other people.
Oh, that's why you had the facial expressions that you have and everything like that. Yeah. You know what, guys, sometimes you're going to see a win and it's not actually a win. It doesn't make any logical sense or whatever. But, like, the wins that I'm picking out is a massive forward progression, not even the house. Just, like, she didn't even want to talk to you and was talking to somebody else and wanted to be thinking about being done, right? Like, we're light years ahead here. This is magic. This means that you are putting forth the direction, the structure. It's totally different, man. So
I guess why I'm more cautious is because, like, at the beginning of the month, I felt like she was making some of these efforts, saying, "No, I'm doing things with, the counselor and so on." But then that's where I saw, like, these texts where she was like, somebody negative influence was asking, "Okay, what do we do if the guy would take you?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm moving right away, especially, like, if you get me a house, So
yeah, well,
so she would have led me right away. At least that's what she said.
But here's the thing, that didn't happen. Whatever that text was, it didn't happen. So you're sitting in your pain. Fuck it, man. Move forward.
Okay.
Okay. It's hard. I get it. It's
My
hard.
fear was maybe it could happen. It's like that's the thing. I can't read the mind. That's why.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you want to sit there, your marriage will go there, right?
Yeah.
When we blame our wives because we're upset because we feel hurt, where do we go? Down the blame train, right? So don't sit in there, dude. Take a step, move in the direction you're going. That's why I said amp it up, next level now. Start flirting more. Start having more fun, deeper conversations. Keep getting to know her more. Reconnect sexually the way that you are, but take it next level, man. Go try some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what definitely I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
Jeff, you're probably adding to the insecurity earlier.
What's that?
You probably wanted to add to the insecurity earlier?
No.
No?
I'm in a bad fucking spot right now.
What happened?
After 3 weeks of good, shit went sideways where she kind of pulled away. And it always happens on the weeks where I have kids. We've talked about this in the past. I have them every other week.
Mm-hmm.
I build up, because I'm basically like a single parent all week. I build up resentment. And then by Friday, I want to have fun, hang out, do stuff Friday or Saturday. And she was in a bad mood. And I kind of got passive aggressive, carried into Saturday, into Sunday. I'll spare you the details, but we just had couples therapy. And what came out of it is that in order to build, for her to be able to have reset, that for the foreseeable future, one night a week, she needs to go to her mom's house for the night when we have the kids so she can reset on a Thursday night, so she can reset going into the weekend because she's triggered by my son and her childhood shit. And long story short, I'm thinking in my head, this is a huge step back. Like every other week, she's going to go to her mom's for the night. And the counselor or the therapist said, you guys will track each other's phones or share location. And
fuck.
And everything. But I'm like, fucking.
No, this is stupid. What a dumb therapist.
So fucking stupid. And I can't, she's on board with it. Courtney's on board with it. And now I'm sitting here I want positivity in my life. I want someone at the end of the work week. I know hours are long and shit, but I was just looking to have fun. Fun with the kids, fun with the family, whatever. And she was having a bad day. And
you have to.
Now this turned into her needing a night.
Hold on. What you need to do is look at this first. Like with blended families. Hey, Kelly. With blended families, you've got to know what you're doing. You don't want somebody who's gonna, because this is the first day. She's not working through her shit. She's putting a Band-Aid on it, right? So when is it going to be 2 days? When is it going to be 3 days away? When is it going to be the week that you have the kids? You already mentioned a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, that your wife doesn't like she gets really upset because the kids, they want the other home, the other parents, right? They don't want her to lay with them or whatever, right? Or spend the night or like to do the good night routine or whatever. Well, we already addressed this. Then you need to be more involved. And now she needs a break from them. It's exactly what we just talked about with Guillaume. Like that's literally providing structure for the wrong direction. And then you're throwing in tracking devices and all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah. And here's what I said, Cass. I flat out said my threat level is at 100% right now. I don't agree with this. And what the reason behind it is Courtney wasn't able to integrate into life. She just went from her last relationship, and then she moved in with me, and we started dating, and I had kids, and she's never had kids in her life. So it's going to take her time to integrate in, and clearly she's got some anxiety that builds up through the week with having kids around that much, and she's not used to it. They're not her blood kids. So this was the solution that was brought up today, and this is what I'm being forced into. I fucking disagree with it.
Well, you're gonna have to decide if you can handle I'm gonna call it a fake marriage, and I'm sure this could piss a lot of people off all over the fucking world. But you don't get to pick and choose. Like she did, she chose you. You come with these kids. Like what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Talk about how nice kids, how they're created is shit like this that's unnecessary. I would love you more, but you're not mine, so I need a break. I'll see you. Do you want that for your kids? I'm not saying that your girlfriend, I can't remember if she's your fiance or your girlfriend, but you're not married yet. and that doesn't normally mean anything to me, but some of the stuff that you're working through to support her, the choices she's making, she's not solving problems, she's creating problems. It might be time for some real conversations. You're making all kinds of sacrifices. I mean, a big one is the talking to other men for attention thing, obviously. But now you're talking about your kids too. I know that's not ideal, but this is like boundary stage for me, if you ask me. Like, it's time to motivate her with boundaries. The asking has gone on for far too long. When she asks for a favor, look out. It's like, you need to take a break from me. See ya. And it's your fault. It's your kid's fault now. This is not moving forward. So you might not agree with her, but you need to now put something in place that actually brings you where you want to go.
Yeah. It's being tied back to, they're not her blood kids, so it's tough. It's tough to be a stepmom and step into that role.
It is tough. You're right.
This will give us a reset going into the weekend, and she'll be, a little time to herself. That's what she keeps saying, is I don't have time to myself during the weeks when the kids are here, and I work long hours, and then she's triggered from some of her childhood traumas, and it's being tied into that.
Hey,
so
Jeff, pardon me, but she's describing half the fucking planet that's married. Like, come on,
Thank
man.
you.
Like, I don't. We all have a fucking wife, job, and kids. That's why I tell you guys, right? It's the same shit. And then if she wants to do more with her career, well, that's something that happens. And when you want to work out, now you got to add that in there. Like, come on, man. We don't just get to pick and choose. I'm not saying you can't take a break, but she's scheduling life away from you and the family. She's sending a clear message to you and the kids. You need to put a boundary in there. Or just ask the question. It sounds to me like ultimately, you can even bring up, it's not like it's yesterday, but it's not like it's old. Between your issues and the resolvability of this, sexual texting or whatever, and now with the kids, I feel like you're not interested. And I don't care if you say I feel like in this case. I feel like you're not interested in this marriage, us moving forward like we're potentially getting married. Would that be accurate? Find out where she's at.
She said therapy, she wants this. She said she loves me, she wants this, but she thinks she needs us to just reset once.
Actions speak louder than words. Everybody, they know what they're supposed to say to the therapist. That doesn't mean she's being honest even with herself. Right? Mm-hmm. Well, I know, buddy. Mama's just taking the girls to school. You know what I mean? Like, we all know what we're supposed to say. Right? The big common one is like, yeah, of course I want this to work. I'm doing X, Y, Z. That doesn't mean you're fucking all the way in. You need to be all the way in. Keep learning, keep growing, keep pushing. I think you need some clarity here. You could even say that. Well, I know what you're supposed to say, babe. And I don't want to end this. In fact, the thought of ending this makes me feel, but I need some truth here. No. It's just because the kids, honestly, I just need a reset. You don't understand step parenting. No, you're right. I don't understand step parenting. However, I do understand what my goals for this family are. Get some clarity. Lead her down the path. What are her actual goals? It's not fun because this is the kind of thing that's a deal breaker for a lot of people, especially blended families for obvious reasons, right?
Yeah.
Have you leaned on, like, we're a blended family, but it's not really, like, we don't have these issues. Have you leaned on, like, say, Matthew? They got a lot of kids in the blended family, right? They've worked out some.
I talked to Greg a little bit about it.
Yeah, Greg's more like the flip side, right? So Greg is Courtney, right?
Yeah.
Greg's got a really good perspective on all of it as well. I know when he was feeling so let down because she never honored him for Father's Day. You know what I mean? So, like, it's really important to lean on the guys in the blended family right now, especially. I know, buddy. I'm sure it's hard, isn't it? I know he doesn't want to talk right now. He said, I know. You want to cuddle? Careful, buddy. You're knocking over my camera. Please be careful. Thank you. I'm going to be done in just a minute, okay? I'll hang out.
Therapist is saying if we don't do this, then Courtney will be done because she's,
No, thank you.
you know, reaching her threshold of, you know, and I didn't handle this weekend right. My nice guy came out because I basically just said, if you're not going to be fun, I don't want to hang out. Like, I want to have positivity and fun.
Well, that's an immature attitude, except for you have this repeat cycle, this repeat pattern. Greg's wife, you guys probably talked about that as well. Same sort of thing. I just don't have anything left at the end of the day. You know, I'm so tired. I'm so drained. Fuck, we're all responsible for our choices. Right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you have to keep your nice guy in check. Otherwise, you're a nice asshole. You're not a great guy. Okay? Look in the mirror. Be proud of who you are. At the end of the day, I'm not living with somebody who's negative all the time either, man. But that doesn't mean we won't have downer days. It doesn't mean she won't have downer days. It doesn't mean that we don't have issues to work out. But, I mean, she's blaming everything on her past, her trauma. Now she's throwing in this case, she's throwing in the fact that it's a blended family. Listen, man, we all have shit. I don't give a fuck. We're either moving forward or we're not. The positivity and how you handle on the weekend, for sure, you potentially could have done different. But if it's always happening, it's her sabotaging it, which is what is happening. Right? Things get good. I prepped you for this last week. Exactly this. I said things have been good for a while. Watch out.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's your pattern. We all have one. And that this is typically it for the nice guy. Except for she's a highly qualified nice girl too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the blame, it's easy to blame. But the positivity you're talking about, the accountability, the actual solutions, not Band-Aids. The goals, the common goals. Break it down, man. You think well. You reflect very well. I have a funny feeling, me just telling you, this sucks. This could be a deal breaker. I have a feeling you're going to start reflecting and start thinking about, well, what do I want? I better get clear, real clear on what she wants. I mean, fuck, think about the shit you've been through recently with the texting and her realizing and you realizing that maybe she has this addiction and, you know, just to make herself feel good. Well, now what is that? Your therapist mentioned a tracking device. Well, that's stupid. Second of all of her stuff is like sending messages a night away from you. Like, it's too close, man. I'm not saying that's what's going on.
She's feeling smothered. She's feeling smothered
because of children living in the house. Again.
Well, no, that and just the way I react and don't give her space when she has more than a down, hour. It's like, I'll give you one example quick. Sunday morning, led into Sunday morning, and I took the kids to the park and breakfast, brought her breakfast back. She slept like fucking 10 hours because she's exhausted. Come home, and then we go do some family shit with her family. She puts on a good, happy face. All is well. We're watching football. We get home. She starts stressing about financial shit with her own credit card. And then I just said, well, I want to have fun with you tonight. Just watch a show and hang out. And she's like, well, not every night has to be fun. We can just watch a show together. And I'm like, so you just want to sit there with the TV and numb out, and I'm just a body next to you. Like, what does that do for me? And, that she just loses her shit.
It's because of how you present it. You're right. I said the same thing to Greg. You're not going to sit there with somebody who's checked out all the time watching TV. Most people, that's not enough, unless you're still coasting in your marriage. But no guy in the reset wants that. And neither are the wives when you guys have a partnership, a life together, fun. Because we're all fucking tired, man. We're all exhausted. Those of us who do more are more tired. That's how it works, right? And we do bring the energy. We do have fun, and we do take it there. But again, it's priorities. What do you want? That was the exact conversation and boundary that we had to put in with Greg. Other than we had to add in her temper tantrums with smashing shit and stuff, right? Slamming doors. But at the end of the day, he wanted to be able to spend time with her because we all have to work. We all have kids. It's called life. So it's not that she can't be in a bad mood. That you handled wrong. But none of that was smothering. None of that. It's Sunday. You want to watch a show with her. She feels smothered. That's on her,
I
man.
don't want her to have her emotions, and I get passive aggressive.
Well, yeah, that part you did wrong, but I'm trying to make sure that you understand it's not all you. You can only take responsibility for you. But just so we're clear, because of what we're talking about is her sabotaging shit. She slept too long, so she had less time to do stuff today. Then she went and did family stuff, and she was happy with them. When she got home, was upset when she looked at her finances. That's all her choices. Now you need to understand that so that you can respond and not react. You're not responsible for her choices. You're not responsible for her bad mood. You're not responsible for her bad mood coming from looking at the bank account balance. You're not. But you are responsible for, cool, babe, you don't want to watch a show, that's totally cool. Because it should be totally cool. You shouldn't be triggered by her when she says you're smothering me. Because you're not. That's why I point out her choices. That's just continuing the normal Sunday like everybody else. Okay? Come here, buddy. Come on, you ready for me? No, you still want mama? Okay, mama's going to be a while, so I'm here if you're ready, okay? No. You don't want to talk, okay? I understand. I love you. Yeah, so you're responsible for your choices. I want you to choose to start responding, even though you don't agree. Right? If you can understand that she made all those choices, then you wouldn't agree that you're smothering her, and you wouldn't feel the need to prove yourself and defend yourself.
But that's how I feel. I said that in therapy. I said, shit, this stuff dragged on 3 days. And like, here's a prime example. I gave an example of Sunday. And Courtney says, well, at the end of the day, I can put a face on with my family, but I just didn't have anything left in the tank, just like Greg's wife. And it's just like, fuck.
Well, think about what she's saying. I'm a supreme nice girl, and I faked it. Couldn't say no to my family. I should have been a big girl and said, no, I don't want to go. I should be a big girl and not be upset about my finances because I know I only control them. They're mine. I need control. So what we're talking about with Matt, you can make as much money as you want. It's up to you. You're responsible for your choices. It's the theme here today. And then you don't feel the need to defend yourself or give examples. This is the crap. You guys need to stop going to therapy. This therapist of yours, I tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys need to work together. You can't do that if you can't address common goals. It's not abnormal. Don't let any fucking wife tell you it's abnormal to want to spend time together. You spend a lot of time apart, especially on the week you have your kids. Come on, man. So don't let her tell you that.
The whole thing. It's like I went all week with the kids as a single dad pretty much, and then we get to the weekend and she's in a bad mood. And I say, hey, can you not be in a bad mood? Let's have fun. Let's, try to bring the yes tone, and it just gets shut down, and then it carries into the weekend.
Yeah, but this is why you must maintain your control. Keep yourself out of the nice guy triangle, right? Maintain your impact. Do not lose your power. You bring everything you just discussed, because the moment you step into the triangle, man, you're not bringing it anymore. You're all worried. Right. You're only worried about what's not happening for you. I'm, of course, talking about what you deserve, but you don't deserve that if you step into the nice guy triangle. That's because you're a nice asshole. You're not a nice guy, right? You just think you are. You're proving you are, but you're not. You're undermining yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
You struggle with it, no problem. You just must continue to reflect and go back to it. The moment you start feeling yourself getting defensive, you're good enough at this now, this reflecting thing. The moment you start to feel defensive, you start to feel the anxiety. Check yourself. Just go, shit. Okay? What am I doing right now? What am I about to say? Pause, talk slower, think before you speak. Don't pace. Control your breath. And then think about what we do. Think about what she's saying. What you need is clarity. Feel smothered? Can you tell me about why you feel smothered today? That would help me a lot to understand.
Yeah.
And then pick out the truth, or dig deeper for questions. With questions, I mean. Okay?
All right.
If you are caring and inquisitive about her, you're going to be less likely to dig into the triangle and be the nice guy and start trying to prove yourself to yourself. You know she needs help. You know you guys have been so codependent for so long. Lead her. Okay? But right now, lead her with the goals, man.
Okay.
Make sure you guys are moving in the same direction, dude. Don't get stuck deep in the nice guy triangle. Well, I don't want to fail. I love her so much. I got to be good enough for her. And you're not being a man of kids. You know, she should love them like they're hers. It's hard for people. I get it. Everything's fucking hard. Okay? Until it's not. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta go help my son here. Aoi, come here, let me see it. Come here. And then we'll see you guys tomorrow again. Let me see.
Hey, before you chime out, hey,
Yeah.
my 18-year wedding anniversary is in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Any idea how I should approach that? Get
Yeah,
back with me on Discord if you want.
yeah, you can do whatever you want. What is she like? What do you like doing? Is there something that you used to do? Is there something you did?
There's no dating. We don't date, we don't touch, we don't nothing.
I don't give a shit, man. What did I tell you last week or before you went on your trip, right? I said, plan it anyways. Handle the rejection. What a glorious opportunity. 18-year anniversary.
Well, I was going to send her something. That's what I was thinking because we're going to be on fall break. She's not going with us. So it'll be during our fall break. So I thought about sending her something.
Yeah, you could easily do that. You could have her favorite dinner sent over, catered. You could even and have like one of her good buddies lined up to join her. So, I don't want to celebrate alone, something like that. Just whatever, be thoughtful. Just be thoughtful. That's all that matters. You're going to do far better. And also, it's too bad people don't check their mail every day, unless she does. Does she check her mail every day?
Email? Yeah.
Not email, mail.
Oh, I do that because that's, I do all the bills.
Okay. Because sometimes then I would actually probably courier home like a card on that day. Same day courier.
Okay. I've got a site that I can make custom cards at. Like you take pictures and put whatever you want on there and they'll send it to you. It's a little pricey, about $7 a card, but it's not bad.
Oh, that's the fuck all. And then put something on there that is like go through your lovers list, full on thoughtful. Think about you having a happy anniversary and do that, right? Meaning you're celebrating together and do that. I don't care if she rejects you. You handle it like a lord. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Cool. All right.
That's good.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. See you, buddy.
Bye-bye. See you guys.